Hello there. Thanks for joining me on 7 Edition. I'm Tonton, and these are the headlines. Minimum age for purchasing alcohol raised, effective today. Insurance coverage for policemen being considered. Major drug syndicate led by woman crippled. We begin this evening with the Dewan Rakyat sitting. Members of Parliament were told that the death sentence is seen to be ineffective as a deterrent in reducing the crime rate in the country. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Dato' LIEW, said a repeal of the death sentence does not mean that those convicted would be set free. Instead, their sentence would be commuted to life imprisonment, which carries a minimum jail term of 30 years. Dato' Liu said this when asked to justify the abolishment of the death penalty in the August House today. Despite outcry from families of murder victims, the de facto law minister stated the death penalty must be completely abolished.
Saya rasa ini satu keputusan yang dibuat agak tergesa-gesa kerana ianya hukuman mati merupakan satu deterrent kepada jenayah berat. Saya nak bertanya, adakah kerajaan bersedia untuk menubuhkan satu select committee untuk mengambil pandangan semua termasuk mangsa keluarga mangsa?
Mengenai Section 39B, sememangnya pihak mahkamah mengadakan budicara discretionary power untuk menggantikan hukuman mati ataupun secara discretionary menjatuhkan hukuman penjara either seumur hidup ataupun seumur hayat. Tetapi yang berhormat sedia maklum bahawa dalam begitu banyak kes dada yang telah pun dibawakan ke mahkamah, ini tidak berkesan kerana masih lagi terdapat banyak pengedar dada yang telah pun melakukan keserahan.
Currently, there are 142 countries that have repealed the death penalty, with 56 other countries still practicing it. The government is in the midst of its final stage to abolish the mandatory capital punishment in accordance with international standards on human rights. Now, Dato' Liu further added that those already on death row for a number of years will still have to serve the full jail term, even if the death sentence has been replaced with a minimum 30 years life imprisonment.
Retrospective effects kepada mereka yang telah pun dijatuh hukuman mati yang sedang menjalankan hukuman di penjara tersebut tidak akan diberikan retrospective effect sekiranya penjara seumur hayat ataupun penjara umur 30 tahun diberikan, kerana ini berdasarkan kepada dasar prinsip undang-undang di mana sekiranya lembaga pengampunan telah pun memberikan menggantikan hukuman mati kepada hukuman penjara kepada mereka, misalnya Tuan Yang Dipertua pada hari ini. Jadi dalam pandangan saya bahawa hukuman itu akan dijalankan daripada hari ini juga, iaitu 30 tahun mereka akan teruskan. There will be no retrospective effect kerana ini tidak adil kepada.
Based on the prison department's record until October 11th, there were 932 prisoners convicted or sentenced to death under the Dangerous Drugs Act. However, since 2014, no execution had taken place on those waiting on death row. Their execution is still pending due to the moratorium imposed on the death sentence, as well as no execution warrant being issued for that purpose by the prisons department. Meanwhile, Dato' Liu also said that a repeal of the death penalty can avoid the risk of miscarriage of justice on innocent individuals.
Hukuman mati tidak boleh diperbaiki atau dipulihkan. Kajian tersebut turut mendapati bahawa terdapat risiko sabitan salah menyebabkan hukuman mati dilaksanakan terhadap individu yang tidak bersalah. Di negara kita terdapat kes di mana orang yang dituduh disabitkan dengan kesalahan bunuh berdasarkan keterangan palsu yang diberikan oleh saksi utama.
Cigarette prices are set to go up at the end of this month or within 3 weeks. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the price increase was in line with the recent sales and service tax SST implementation on September 1st.
Ya, rokok kita memang dalam proses untuk menetapkan satu harga ceiling dan sehinggakan ianya dapat kita samaratakan sebagai satu kawalan harga begitu ya. Itu perkara yang saya sebutkan dalam waktu terdekat ini.
On the smoking ban in the Parliament building, Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli said 8 compound notices were issued, including to a member of Parliament since yesterday's enforcement. The action was taken following the declaration of smoking corners and eating places in the Parliament building as the smoke-free zones starting yesterday. After raising the legal drinking age from 18 to 21 2 years ago, the government has finally standardized the legal liquor buying age. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the legal age to purchase alcoholic beverages takes effect from today, following amendments done to the Food Regulations Act. Speaking to the media in Parliament today, the Health Minister said the amendment to Rule 361 of the Act also requires vendors and alcoholic products to display new warning labels against the effects of alcohol.
Kita izinkan dalam 3 hingga 6 bulan. Kita agak bertoleransi sikit dalam perkara ini. Tapi ketika kita tetapkan pada penghujungnya 3 hingga 6 bulan itu, kita mahukan semua mematuhi dengan compliant kepada peraturan-peraturan baru ini.
According to the new guidelines, premises must display notices showing the new purchasing age limit while also displaying notices reminding users of the dangers of consuming alcohol. Similar warning labels advising against the use of alcohol must also be displayed on all alcoholic beverage packaging. Beverages classified as compounded hard liquor can now also only be sold in bottles no smaller than 700 milliliters. All alcoholic beverages for sale will also have to be placed in different cabinets or racks away from other items on sale. The Royal Police Malaysia (PDRM) have proposed to the government to provide insurance coverage for policemen who face a range of risks while carrying out their duties. Now, Deputy Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Nur Rashid Ibrahim said such protection is crucial as some policemen cannot obtain insurance coverage on their own due to their nature of work.
Kita unik, kerja polis ni unik macam mana saya cakap tadi. Ada risikonya. Kalau kita tengok trafik yang bertugas di atas jalan raya, risiko kemalangan, pegawai CID yang membuat sebuah risiko diserang oleh penjenayah dan sebagainya. So maka kita akan lihat juga perlu ada satu insurans yang melindungi.
Tan Sri Nur Rashid also said besides providing compensation for accident, the insurance scheme should also cover medical and health benefits. He was speaking to at media conference after a Deputy Inspector General of Police dialogue session with Pahang Police Contingent today. In other news, a 34-year-old drug QUEENPIN was among 14 people believed to be members of a major drug syndicate who were arrested by police between Friday and Sunday in 6 raids in Johor. Over 3 million ringgit in narcotics and various other items were also seized during operation over the weekend. The 34-year-old woman detained at a house in Bandar Baru Uda was believed to be the mastermind behind the syndicate. Police also arrested a Kluang-based Gang 36 secret society leader who aided the woman and is believed to be the drug supplier.
Justru itu keseluruhan rampasan dadah dan sitaan dalam operasi ini adalah seperti berikut. Rampasan dadah 16 kg dadah disyaki syabu, 6 kg dadah disyaki heroin, 0.25 kg dadah disyaki ketamin, 97 biji pil disyaki ecstasy, 12 biji pil disyaki pil yaba ataupun pil kuda, dan 1 biji pil disyaki heroin 5. Jadi nilai rampasan kesemua termasuk cash ialah lebih kurang 1 juta ringgit.
He added that the police also seized 9 vehicles in addition to the drugs, cash totaling 127,000 ringgit, 34.5 million rupiah, and various jewelry. Police arrested 9 other men, including an Indonesian, as well as 3 women. The syndicate was known to be active for more than a year, and police are still investigating its involvement in the local and international markets. All the suspects, aged between 26 and 39, have been remanded to assist investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. In Pulau Pinang, police disposed of 8.76 million ringgit worth of various drugs and drug processing equipment this morning. The drugs were confiscated from 2,684 cases between 2001 and 2017, comprised of heroin, ketamine, methamphetamine, aramine 5, ketum leaves, ecstasy pills, and psychotropic pills, as well as machines used to process drug pills. According to police, the confiscated drugs could have been misused by over 2 million people. Up to September this year, action has been taken against 306 addicts compared with 230 during the same period last year. Former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak has been called in again by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) to give his statement this morning. The Pekan Member of Parliament was summoned to the agency's headquarters in Putrajaya to assist in a probe into a new case related to One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB. He entered the MACC office around 10 a.m. via a back door. Datuk Sri Najib had been called in by the MACC several times previously to give his statement on scandals relating to 1MDB and its subsidiary SRC International Sendirian Berhad. So far, he had been slapped with a total of 25 corruption and anti-money laundering charges involving 2.3 billion ringgit allegedly misappropriated from the State Investment Fund. In 4 of the charges, Datuk Sri Najib was accused of using his then position as Prime Minister, Finance Minister and Chairman of 1MDB Advisory Board to receive bribes. The remaining 21 charges involved money laundering activities, including receiving and using legal proceeds, as well as transferring the proceeds to other entities. Meanwhile, PKR's election committee will conduct an investigation into the allegation by its candidate for the Deputy President post, Rafizi Ramli, about money politics in the party polls. Its president, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Aziza Wan Ismail, said she admitted not knowing about the matter until she was questioned over the claim by the media today.
Now that you're telling me, I'm aware.
Rafizi, in his statement yesterday, alleged that money politics was widespread in 6 states, which have conducted the polls. He also urged party members to reject candidates who embrace such culture and to learn from UMNO, which fell allegedly for practicing money politics. UMNO President Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the party was prepared to prove in court that the 116.7 million ringgit cash seized by cops belongs to the party. He said this following police claims that UMNO has no locus standi to reclaim the money seized during a raid at the residence belonging to former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak.
Tindakan perundangan untuk melakukan tututan wang yang dirampas itu, dan kita akan mengikuti proses perundangan berikutnya, iaitu termasuk membawa kes ini ke mahkamah dan biar mahkamah yang akan memutuskannya.
Several raids were conducted at properties linked to Datuk Sri Najib post-general election in May, which saw 686.37 million ringgit worth of valuables seized, including jewellery and luxury handbags. It was reported that the market retail value of the haul could fetch between 910 million and 1.1 billion ringgit. UMNO has since tried to claim a portion of the cash seized, which amounted to 116.7 million ringgit. When we return, gas station attendant gets beaten over a small mistake. The details and more right after the break. Welcome back. Malaysia is consistent in its business policy, which remains open and friendly to all countries, especially Japan, and is inviting Japanese investors to continue with the trading work with the nation. International Trade and Industry Minister Dato' Darrell Ley-King said that it is the government's stand in the new Malaysia era, led by Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, who had pledged to revive and enhance the Look East policy. Sarah Abdullah reports from Japan, Tokyo.
According to Datuk Lee King, who is also Penampang MP, although Malaysia has various attractions, the nation faced fiscal mismanagement in the past and want Japan to assist the current government's effort in reviving the nation by sharing their knowledge, capital and confidence to Malaysia.
I'm assuring you as a minister from Malaysia that Malaysia is consistent with its policy, its open policy for business, and it's open always to the entire world, more so to Japan, to continuously do trade with us. We are an open trade. Do not let anyone influence you from saying that we are not, or from saying that we are indecisive. The government is very decisive, and this is where we've learned from Japan.
He also admitted his concerns on several existing external factors, such as the trade war between the United States and China, which may impact the economy of both nations. Datuk Lee King, however, remained optimistic that Malaysia and Japan will be able to weather the challenges due to the good ties between the two nations.
Japan, being one of the members of ASEAN, must always have trust with Malaysia. Malaysia as well must have trust with Japan that we can do and we can navigate this tariff war that America and China faces. And we will make sure that our economy, no matter how obvious it will have some effect, that our economy will have a soft impact on it. That we will not be too burdened with the possibility of a global recession or even the possibility of that trade war affecting our own trade. We are resilient.
He said this in his keynote address at the Business and Investment Opportunities Seminar in Malaysia, which was attended by over 600 Japanese delegates in Tokyo. The seminar was organized by the International Trade and Industry Ministry, the Malaysian Investment Development Authority, MIDA, and the Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation, MATRADE.
We are very happy to hear directly his voice and his message, the very clear message we've got. And he said Malaysia maintains a free and open economy, and under the Dr. Mahathir's Prime Minister's leadership, we maintain maybe a new version of Look East policy, and the Malaysian and Japan relationship is maintained keep very close. And also, he said that the obstacles in the business environment will be removed one by one. Yeah, that is a very positive message for Japanese potential investors.
Having just been elected as the minister some 3 months ago, this is the first trade and investment mission led by Datuk Darrell, and he is already shouldering such a huge responsibility, leading over 90 delegates to Tokyo with a clear mission, which is to bring in more business and investment opportunities to Malaysia. Sarah Abdullah and camerawoman Wee Yok Ting, Tokyo, Japan.
The Malaysian Institute of Economic Research, MIER, has revised the country's gross domestic product, GDP, from 5.5% to 4.7% this year due to slower growth in the first half of the year. Its executive director, Professor Dr. Zakaria Abdul Rashid, said moderation in global demand and over-reliance on private consumption amid the weakened investment activities to steer growth have also influenced the projection.
Export and import numbers, the IPI, those are the factors that we have taken into account. I think that's the factors that I mentioned just now, especially on the private investments. The first quarter performance is, I say, it's quite low, at 0.5%.
MIER also revised downward inflation projection from 2 to 1.4% due to cheaper foods and transportation prices, despite higher oil prices and cheaper ringgit. Professor Dr. Zakaria also added that the trade war between US and China may have implication on global trade flows in general and specific impact on Malaysian external trade. Now let's take a look at our daily segment, Clickbait, on what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Group brawls are growing more common in Malaysia, and what's more worrying is that it drags innocent people into it. In a recent case, a petrol station employee was beaten up by a group of motorcyclists who simply couldn't handle a slight mistake. Here's the story. The incident happened at about 12:45 p.m. when the motorcyclists rode up to Petronas Sungai in Perak to pump gas. One of the motorcyclists, however, didn't inform the attendant, Muhammad Ridwan bin Abdullah, that he wanted RON 97. So Muhammad Ridwan filled the bike up with RON 95. The motorcyclist wasn't pleased and started to threaten Muhammad Ridwan despite him apologizing profusely. He was then dragged out and one of them hit him and threw a canned drink at him until he collapsed. The whole ordeal, lasting 42 seconds, was caught on camera by a passerby, and the video has since gone viral. The victim, who suffered bodily injuries, lodged a police report on the incident, and the case is being investigated under the Penal Code for voluntarily causing hurt. Now, all heroes may not wear capes, but thanks to one inspiring group at New York City's 2018 Comic-Con, some definitely wear hijabs. A group of friends attended the event last week in Avengers costumes like many other attendees, but this is why they went viral. Dressed as characters like Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, the Muslim women from New York, New Jersey, and Kentucky perfectly incorporated their hijabs into their costumes, dubbing themselves the Hijab Heroes. Maliha Feroz, the woman dressed as Thor, took to Twitter to share photos of the costumes, which went viral in the fandom world. In recognition of their creativity, they won third place at the Marvel Becoming Costume Contest, which takes into consideration costume craftsmanship, attitude on stage, as well as overall appearance and attitude. Maliha's photos received plenty of positive feedback online, with her original tweet amassing over 10,000 retweets on Twitter. With Marvel Comics constantly working hard on diversifying its content and characters, this certainly gives them an idea for future reference. Now, updated as of 7 p.m., here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. Coming up, at least 6 killed after bus crashes into canal in India. Stay with us.